Alright, so we're back in the Facebook Ads Manager, and I'm going to show you how to manage your Facebook ads while your campaign is still running. As you can see, my campaign has already completed because it was a short example campaign, but everything that I'm going to show you is stuff that you can check while your campaign is still running. We'll start with a look at these top line numbers. In the results column, you can see how many results you've driven towards your objective. In this case, we've gotten 26 clicks on our ad to our landing page. You can also see how many people you've reached, and you can also see what your cost per click is for your ad. In our case, it was 77 cents. How much you've already spent on your campaign. We've already maxed out our budget. And you can also see when your campaign ends. Our campaign is already over, but if yours is still running, then obviously the future date that your campaign ends will show up here. And so now that we've looked at these, we'll take a closer look at our campaign. And we get the same results here, but we can also customize these columns. Just click Columns and Customize Columns. And this gives us a lot of different options for what we can look at. And so right now what we're going to be most interested in is adding impressions to see how many people our ads are reaching, frequency to see how many times the same person sees our ad, and we're also really interested in our click-through rate, which we have to scroll a little bit to get to. So we will add those. And we'll take a closer look at all of those options whenever we're doing our campaign post-mortem too. We'll get more into all the different options that we have there and what you might be interested in. Now we'll take a look at these three new columns that we've added. We'll start with frequency, and that's a measurement of how many times your ad is appearing to unique users. So anything above 1 means that your ad is being shown to the same people multiple times. We're just a little bit above 1 here, and so we're not to the point where we would want to really worry about this number, but the higher that this gets, say if you had like a 2-point-something frequency, then you might want to consider expanding your audience or targeting a different audience because you're starting to oversaturate your target audience with your ads, and people are probably going to start to get irritated with them, which is going to lead to higher negative feedback and maybe spam reporting and that sort of thing. Next, we'll look at impressions, and impressions is pretty similar to the metric we already have by default, reach. The difference between the two is that while impressions is a count of how many times your ad has appeared in the newsfeed, reach is a count of how many people your ad has appeared to in the newsfeed. So think of reach as people reached so that you can remember the difference between these two. And the reason that we care about impressions is that some of our other metrics that we care about, such as click-through rate, are going to depend on impressions rather than reach, and so we need that number in order to understand these other metrics. And next we're going to look at click-through rate. And click-through rate is the number of interactions we had on our ad towards our objective. In our case, that's website clicks, divided by the number of people who saw our ad, which is our impressions. And so the average on Facebook right now is 0.86%. So this is a little bit low. So looking at this click-through rate, I see that we do have a good cost per click. We've gotten 26 clicks on this ad set. So I realize that the ads are effective, but if I want to get this click-through rate up higher, then what I would look at is I would go into the ad set, look at the ads and see which ad that I actually have is performing best, and then I would look into that ad and try and figure out what it is about the content, the text, and the imagery that is resonating with that audience. And then I would create some additional ad variations in this ad set. And basically the more variations that you run for your ads, the better you're going to do, because the more chances you have of finding something that is going to resonate with your audience. Facebook is going to automatically give budget to the ads that are doing best. So whichever ads are resonating best are going to appear the most and get the most interactions and probably have the highest click-through rate and the lowest cost per click.